I'll be the first to tell you, I am not a I'm not a diehard UFC person, right? But I'm
Right.
seeing something happen in UFC, and it is a little reminiscent of something that I see happen in boxing. But in my personal opinion, I think it's a little bit different. But I'm gonna ask you this: if, let's say, if I chose not to fight somebody, right? Because I just say
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, listen, man, maybe in my better days, or maybe if I was so and so, I'm saying, yeah, that fight would make more sense for me, but it doesn't really make sense for me now. Does that make me soft, bro?
3 weeks later.
Should it be frowned upon? Like, to be more serious, should it be frowned upon if I'm like, yo, right now that's not really where I'm at. Like, yo, bro, if right now
Yeah.
if Braun lined up on the other end of, let's say, I don't know, like a Jalen Green or something, Braun was like, yo, man, I'm 40, bro. I ain't supposed to be guarding this guy right now. You guard him. Like, is Braun frowned upon for taking that stance, right? And I know this is a little bit different, but I'm just saying, or is that justified in saying, like, yo, back in my days, I'm clamping this dude.
Yeah, I mean, because you also got to factor in like age, like what we were just talking about, right? Age, father time,
Mhm.
maybe some injuries. I think there's justifications if it's related to health, I guess. But if you're like LeBron James, right, and even now, and you're still regarded as one of the best players in the league,
Mhm.
right? I would still think that you would still want to challenge yourself in some ways to take on that challenge, right? And for you to be like, nah, I mean, it's probably smart to probably have another defender that's probably better than you to swap out and take on that, that challenge is smart, right? But
Yeah.
there is a thin line between being smart and soft at times, right?
But
Sometimes people can hide behind being smart and really be soft
yeah.
behind that. Not saying that's the case in this situation, but I would definitely say it should probably be frowned upon to an extent, only because if you are at the top of your division or wherever you're at and you're still fighting at a high level, then you need to be fighting competition at your level.
So
That's how I see it.
what if I pass on guarding the Jalen Greens of the world, and guys like that, the Shea Gilders Alexanders of the world, but when we play the Suns, I step up and I guard KD.
See that's pretty weird. Now, is KD just a one-off chance, or
But
are you guarding caliber players like KD?
no, I'm guarding KD because
See,
the history, the rivalry, the name, what
yeah,
it
that's not
means to
enough.
the
That
fans.
that's the only reason why you're doing this, because KD, the history and all that is some form of camaraderie, which also plays a role in comfortability, right? Because I think that's the thing.
Mm,
People are generally okay with going up a level when they're comfortable. But when there's a situation that they're uncomfortable with, that's when you
mm.
really see if they're really willing to bite the bullet, you know?
That's a good point. I like that point right there. And obviously, you guys. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know John Jones, Tom Aspinall is what I'm talking about. But it is similar, I think, to Canelo and David Benavidez, but different. And this is
Right.
why I think it's different, right? John Jones is saying, "Listen, I'm gonna fight Alex Pereira," and it sounds like he says he's gonna walk off into the sunset. If that's what he does, I'm good with that. If you say, yo, I'm just cashing out. Listen, I've given enough to the sport. I think John Jones has been doing this for maybe 16 years or something like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If he's like, yo, I'm just going to cash out and be off, I'm going to respect that. But if he
Right.
continues to compete and avoid Tom Aspinall, now I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. But and then but like I said, if John's standpoint was like, yo, bro, I've been doing this for so long, I'm gonna just take this last fight, you know, go back to the division I started at with a guy who people are, giving all this regard to, and then I'm gonna just walk off. But it's the approach, it's the approach. I mean, it's just John Jones, bro. So I don't want to disrespect John Jones in the least bit, but like when you
Yeah.
walk into a room and you hear people with an accent, and you say, "No, I'm not going to do the interview. I'm gonna just leave because it's going to be an Aspinall fest." It's just
Yeah.
like this now starting to seem like avoidance. And
Yeah.
that is the part, I think that's what's making people say, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on. What's happening here? You know what I mean?
Like he's just avoiding, and I think that what makes it worse is because he's trying to
Even the topic.
downplay. Yeah, he's just trying to downplay Tom. Like he's not being honest about the
Yeah.
situation, you know. And I think that's what's giving me Canelo vibes in that sense, you
Yeah.
know. And I think we talked about it as well, where we see Lomachenko, where Lomachenko denied the fight with Tank Davis, you know, and we know what Lomachenko has done for the sport. We know he, you know, when he was younger, he took on every fight. He was calling out Tank even previously, and Tank was the one that actually ducked him, right? Tank wasn't prepared for that fight, you know, and now it's like, you know, he's older and he is avoiding, you know, that fight. And I don't know for what reason, but we haven't seen him fight since. So depending on how he comes back, maybe we can probably call him a duck in that sense. But you know, it's really relevant just in combat sports, I guess, where there's a time and focus where a person's career is like, you know what, I don't want to take on that challenge because they know the risks that comes with it, right? And whether or not, you know, from my perspective, I do think if you're avoiding someone that's within your same realm or caliber, for whatever reason, you know, I do think there's some level of, you know, duck there. I think this should be frowned upon unless there are health concerns. Then at that point, I get it. You know, money to a degree, but I feel like people are hiding behind too much money at this point where they're pricing themselves out, i.e. Brian Norman Jr., right? So it's hard. It's a tough topic, right? Because I could be wrong too, and I get it. You know, I guess it depends really. Even in John Jones' case, if he decides like his last fight is the last fight, then it's like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. All right. So, did you see the fight between him and Stipe Miocic?
Yeah, I seen the fight. Yeah.
So, I mean, how did you think he looked? What did he look impressive to you, or how did you think he looked?
I seen some instances of age there. I'm not gonna lie. Which also told me like Tom is probably licking his chops. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like in the sense of like Tom, like, Tom is getting more confidence. I felt like after that fight. But I still felt like he looked good. Like John Jones is really just talented, right? Like, especially when you watch him fight, his strike combinations, you know, turning kicks, like he's just so cerebral. You know what I mean? He looked good in there. It's just that you can probably tell he's probably not as swift as he used to be, you know. So it's just, you know, I would just say that.
Yeah, he looked solid. I would give him a solid score, but I'm also factoring how bad Stipe looked, right? Stipe looked so bad.
And the fact that like he looked that bad, but he's still able to land some shots, and so you also got to factor that in too, you know.
Yeah.
If this is the old John Jones, he would have got him out of there.
Yeah.
Fairly easily.
But now flip side, and we say like a guy like Canelo now who hasn't fought David Benavidez, but he's actively competing, and he hasn't made any mentions of, all right, this is about to be it, right? So he's still actively competing, you know, around David Benavidez and saying, you know, David hasn't done anything to earn this fight. Do you think that is a worse approach, or do you think John acting like Tom isn't real? Do you think which one is the worst approach to you?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta go with that clear, obvious choice here, which is Canelo, bro. Okay. Oh my God, the amount of years that he's been like fighting around Benavidez is crazy. And really, what for me made me realize Canelo's a duck was when, you know, Benavidez was calling out Canelo really early on. He lost his belt, and as soon as he lost his belt, Canelo went to go fight for the belt. I was like, oh.
But before that, belts didn't matter.
Yeah, I was that's crazy. And then afterwards, what he did after, Canelo's by far the worst choice. What he's doing is worse, definitely.
Yeah. And you want me to tell you something that's crazy, and it shouldn't be surprising to you, but it might be surprising to some people. I still would, in both those fights, I would give John Jones a strong chance to win, and I would give Canelo a strong chance to win. Now, I'm not saying favorite. Right. I'm just saying I give them strong chances to win the opposition. You know what I mean? I think those would be both just good fights. You know what I'm saying? But it would be a level of resistance on each side. So it's just kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because and people might be shocked, but I do actually think Canelo can beat David Benavidez. Now, can and will are two different things, but I do think he can beat David Benavidez. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to see. But Benavidez Morrell at the top of the year. So shouts out to David Benavidez and David Morrell on that one. You know, we'll see what Canelo does next. But I'm gonna really follow this John Jones thing because I can't lie, I'm a fan of John Jones. If you see the page, we don't talk a lot of UFC. It's only when John Jones comes up, you know, and it's just like he's just one of those guys, you know, you just have to mention it, but you know, cannot act like I don't see Tom Aspinall there, and I can't act like it's not interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? But
True.
like, you know, to leave off, and I'll turn it back to you. You said something to me, and I think this is so true. Like, as your agent, it's not just like, all right, you know what? I'm 37. I'm gonna decline a little bit. I'm 38. I'm gonna decline a little bit. I'm 39. I'm gonna decline a little bit. It may go that way for some people, maybe LeBron James, but for a lot of people, it's like, yo, I'm 37. Cool. 38. Whoa, I can't do what I was doing last year. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
just fall off a cliff. And Charles Barkley said this. He's like, you really don't know it's over until you're just out there and you realize, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And the worst time for that to happen for John Jones would to be in there with Tom Aspinall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be bad, you know, that would be bad. And
Yeah.
and the same is happening with Canelo, you know, because I feel like Canelo had a really good chance of beating Benavidez, but as the years progress, it's like his chances is slowly dwindling, you know. So it's
Mhm.
like should have got him out of there when you had the chance. Now it's like now it might be more of a fight than you even can anticipate, or maybe he just knows and that's why he's ducking him. But who
Yeah.
knows? We'll see.
Well, tell us what you think. So if I say, listen, I don't want to fight this person because I feel like I'm not at my best any longer, or maybe I'm outside of my prime, should I be frowned upon for that, or should my honesty be rewarded? You know what I'm saying, for lack of better terms. And I'm not saying that's what's happening here. Who knows? They
Right.
might fight. You know, they might fight. But you know, what is you guys' perspective on that? If I say, hey, listen, I'm not gonna fight this person out because I'm gonna go take a cash out fight and I'm gonna walk off into the sunset just because I've already done enough. You know what I mean? Tell me your
Yeah.
perspective. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. We've been gone for a minute, but we're back now. 2 cents short of $1, and we're out.